Welcome back, everyone, to another wonderful episode of The Doctor. Today, we'll be discussing togas, beer pongs, beer keggers, jello shots, and random people you haven't seen but heard were popular. Today, we're discussing about college kids joining a frat. In movies like Monsters University and an extremely goofy movie, and the more overhyped reality-based adult films like Animal House and Neighbors 1 and 2, fraternities and sororities may seem to some like the glitz and glamour of a full university experience. But behind every kegger is a headache in the morning. One may argue that they are a foundational experience for millions of Americans, young men in a system that helped build American higher educators as we know it. Fraternities also provide their members with matchless leadership training. And while the system has produced its share of poets, atheists, and Henry James scholars, it is far more famous for its successes in the powerhouse fraternity fields of business, law, and politics. An astonishing number of CEOs in Fortune 500 companies, congressmen and male senators, and American presidents have belonged to fraternities. Many more thousands of American men count their fraternal experience and their friendships made within it as among the most valuable in their lives. The organizations raise millions of dollars for worthy causes and contribute millions of hours in community service, and seek to steer younger men toward lists of services and honorable actions. But despite this, it is important to remember that social fraternities and sororities require a large time commitment beyond most other clubs. Greek members need to be able to balance a full-time class workload while still being involved in many social engagements. Fraternities and sororities also have financial commitments with costly membership expenses that are required on top of the rising tuition expenses of earning a degree. Excessive underage drinking is also a problem that spans across college campuses in general, but while many students report the highest peer pressure to drink in the Greek system. While Animal House may not have been an exaggeration, fraternities and sororities are often stereotyped for fostering a culture of drinking, partying, and hazing. There has been at least one hazing-induced death each year since 1975, and 82% of those deaths were connected to binge drinking. Aside from the underage drinking, drugs, and promiscuous activities that may affect a person's life in one major way, one thing that is synonymous with fraternities and sororities is hazing, described as the practice of rituals, challenges, and other activities involving harassment, abuse, or humiliation used as a way of initiating a person into a group, including a new fraternity or sorority, team, or club. Now, a rite of passage can mean many things such as birth, puberty, marriage, having children, vision quests, or bar or bat mitzvahs from the Jewish faith. However, acts of forced or coerced alcohol or other drug consumption, humiliation, isolation, sleep deprivation, and sex acts, beating, patting, or other forms of assault, branding, burning, water intoxication, expecting abuse or mistreatment of animals, public nudity are not rites of passage that people with reasonable level-headed thinking abide by. Here are some simple tips to minimize the risk with fraternities and sororities. Pace yourself with alcohol at the pregame. Don't dress to impress, because as soon as you walk through the door, some yutz is going to spill his drink on that dress and you'll have to clean it up the whole night. I would suggest to wear something dark and replaceable, and carry a stain remover, probably a Tide stick if you got one. Never leave a drink unattended, and if you do, get a new one. You never know what someone could slip into it. Avoid slapping the bag, body shots, using the shower as a communal restroom, and God forbid taking your shoes off. Lord only knows what you could have stepped in. Overall, if you choose not to join a fraternity or sorority, you can still engage in your campus community through student clubs, in sports, study groups, professional organizations, and other special interest groups to build a rewarding college experience. This is the Doctor. I hope you enjoyed another segment of this show. Have a wonderful evening and a blessed night.